For decades, Jay Leno entertained millions, topping late-night ratings and winning Emmy Awards. Everyone knew the TV host, the comedian, and the man behind NBC's Tonight Show. But few knew the other life he was living. Hidden from cameras and fans, Jay spent years surrounded by cars, engines, and tools, building a world completely separate from Hollywood. No one suspected it. And now, he has lived a double life for 30 years, and no one knew what he was doing until now. When you think of Jay Leno, you probably picture the affable, late-night talk show host, the familiar grin behind the desk, and a voice that's entertained millions. He climbed to fame on the strength of his stand-up comedy, his appearances on network television, and eventually a long run anchoring one of America's most watched talk shows. His name eventually became a mainstream success in show business, as he was the man who invited celebrities on TV. But beneath that polished public image, there's a deeply passionate side of Leno's life. He also lives in a hidden world of steel, pistons, steam, and the unapologetic joy of the open road. This duality makes his story richer than most. It's surprising that this famous television star is also a gearhead, restoration man, and storyteller of machines. Leno has built one of the most extraordinary private car collections in the world. In fact, he has a collection of over 180 cars and 160 motorcycles. But he doesn't just buy the cars for the numbers, but instead as links to engineering and history. He once said that whenever he buys an old car, he buys the story as much as the car. He has cars that represent different milestones in automotive history, like a steam car from 1906, the pioneering run of a 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing, and the landmark 1967 Lamborghini Miura, often called the world's first supercar. His collection also includes the legendary 1994 McLaren F1. This is one of the fastest production cars of its time and is often regarded as the high watermark in automotive engineering. He also has the mythic 1934 Duesenberg Walker Coupe, which is valued at over $20 million and is a masterpiece of the pre-war era. He has steam cars, turbine-powered experiments, cutting-edge hypercars, and obscure Swedish two-stroke models. Aside from simply owning cars, Jay Leno also enjoys driving. He usually says that cars exist to be driven and not hidden away in climate-controlled garages. He wants cars that are fun to drive. So if you go to his Big Dog garage near Burbank Airport in California, behind the celebrity facade, you can see his collection of cars. He and his team regularly restore, maintain, and move his cars so that they can be driven. He once said, "You drive them, you enjoy them." You can peek into his private life by checking out his YouTube series, Jay Leno's Garage. In his YouTube channel, he walks viewers through restorations, test drives, and the stories behind all his cars. But Leno doesn't only collect classic cars, as he's also drawn to innovation. He's one of the first celebrities to embrace electric vehicles early, and he owns Teslas. He once said that the future of cars isn't just about horsepower, but mostly about environmental consciousness. In one project, he collaborated on the EcoJet concept car, which was a jet turbine biodiesel supercar that blended aerospace engineering with automotive ambition. The total valuation of his car collection is at least $52 million, although some sources expect it to be as expensive as $104 million. He also regularly organizes tours during special events, allowing other car lovers to visit and check his collection. So, Jay Leno has a deeper interest in cars compared to other celebrities who have a car collection. But perhaps because he has a high interest in cars, that's what makes him even more prone to accidents. In fact, over the years, Jay Leno has found himself in a couple of car accidents, especially as he enjoys driving. But he survived them all, and they never stopped him from loving cars. When Jay Leno isn't behind the late-night desk or hosting his automotive show, he's elbow-deep in engines or on the road driving his car, but that has led him to end up in some accidents. In November 2022, while working underneath a 1907 steam engine car in his Burbank garage, Leno experienced a severe accident that could have derailed his very identity as a car lover. A fuel line repair went disastrously wrong. Gasoline was sprayed into the undercarriage and then ignited. He later described the moment, "It felt exactly like my face was on fire, maybe like the most intense sunburn you've ever had." The blaze caused him to end up with second and third degree burns across his face, chest, hands, and left arm. He was quickly rushed to the renowned Grossman Burn Center in West Hills, where he went through 2 skin graft surgeries, including cadaver skin and pig tissue, and daily hyperbaric oxygen therapy. You won't believe that Leno was back on stage performing stand-up less than 2 weeks after leaving the hospital, and was even joking about his brand new face. Instead of retreating, he leaned into his humor and passion and said that he would continue to do the same stupid things I've always done, just maybe a little more carefully. Barely 2 months after that happened, Leno faced yet another serious incident. On January 17th, 2023, while test riding a vintage 1940 Indian motorcycle, he encountered a hidden hazard. There was a low wire strung across a parking lot. He revealed that it clotheslined him and, boom, knocked him off the bike. The crash caused him to end up with a broken collarbone, 2 broken ribs, and cracked kneecaps. Instead of disappearing into recovery, he simply got healed and told the world, "I'm okay. I'm working this weekend." His resolve to keep going showed that he still loved his cars. There's even another injury that Jay Leno didn't make public, even earlier than these car accidents. While he was taping his show, Jay Leno's garage, a stunt car he was driving, flipped multiple times. Although he was physically unscathed, this reminded everyone that his hidden life wasn't without danger. What makes these car accidents even more interesting is how Leno responded. Each time, the narrative is the same. He ends up with damage, recovers, and then returns. His ability to return, even when his face literally caught fire, and to resume his passion so quickly shows how strong and resilient he is. In interviews, he stressed that people who work with their hands and machines are at risk, and they should only try to lower it rather than hide from it. Even when he was covered with bandages, his humor remained intact, and he still believes that cars are meant to be driven, restored, and experienced. The fact that Jay Leno lived a hidden life for over 30 years, and we didn't know it till now, is shocking. But his life is taking another turn, as he has more to worry about than the hundreds of cars and motorcycles in his garage. He now has to take care of his wife. When Jay Leno walked down the aisle on November 3rd, 1980, to marry Mavis, his wife, it was the start of a partnership that would span decades through laughter and late-night lights. The two of them met in the 1970s at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles, and this was a chance encounter that grew into a steady friendship, mutual support, and then marriage. Their wedding date was very symbolic because it was the same day as Jay's parents' anniversary, so he tied his public success to the private legacy of family and commitment. Mavis is an ardent feminist and philanthropist, and she joined the board of the Feminist Majority Foundation and helped shape advocacy for women's rights globally. Over the years, Her quiet strength is what allowed Jay to remain a famous public star. He was the stand-up comic to talk show host, while she was the partner behind the scenes. The couple decided to not have children and instead focused on their shared life, mutual respect, and independent mission. Marvis once said that with Jay, she felt a sense of having arrived at my destination. She has always been a fierce supporter of Jay's career, including during the public controversy surrounding his Tonight Show exit and return. Jay was also dedicated to her. In fact, when he ended up with the 2022 garage burn incident that left him with second and third-degree burns, he made a stop at home to inform his wife before going to the hospital because she doesn't drive. But by early 2024, their life together had entered a new phase. In January of that year, Jay filed for conservatorship over Mavis's estate after she was diagnosed with advanced dementia. The announcement came as a surprise, but it reflected their vow to stay together in sickness and in health. In fact, Mavis is now exhibiting major cognitive decline as she can barely recognize her husband and is disoriented regarding dates. The court officially granted Jay conservatorship, saying that he was the appropriate person to oversee her affairs. Although the legal language focuses on trusts and assets, the heart of their story is far more personal. Jay has said in interviews that caring for Mavis isn't work and that he enjoys her company. At a public appearance in November 2025, he said, "I like taking care of her. We had a good time." Although some days she doesn't recognize him, and on other days she revisits the same joke and still laughs, Jay is living like nothing has changed, because to him, nothing really has. They still carve out small rituals together. They have movie nights where they re-watch his old comedy segments, and Marvis laughs as though she's seeing them for the first time. For Jay, that laughter is precious. In a January 2025 interview, he said, "I still make her laugh every day, and that's always fun." Their life now isn't about the lights of the stage or the roar of engines in Jay's garage. It's about the quietness of mornings together and the way they spend time with each other. Jay has said that when he travels, even for work, he does everything to be home every night. He had said, "I try to be home every night, so that's what I do." Indeed, the role of caregiver has become for Jay a natural extension of his enduring role as husband. It is both a challenge and a choice. He considers himself lucky to be here for her, rather than viewing the role as a burden. In an age when celebrity couples often drift apart or grow distant, the Lenos stand as a testament to partnership under all seasons. This shows that the love between celebrities isn't always glamorous, and Jay Leno is embracing his wife no matter what. After all, throughout his career, Marvis has always been supporting him, especially as he has gone through different scandals and controversies. Perhaps one of the most widely reported controversies involving Leno is the way he used derogatory jokes about Asian people, especially Koreans, including comments tied to dog or cat-eating stereotypes. Specifically, activist groups such as the Media Action Network for Asian Americans documented at least 9 instances between 2002 and 2012 in which Leno made jokes linking South Korean speed skater Kim Dong-sung's Olympic loss with a dog food gag and other remarks during his appearances. On March 25, 2021, Leno issued a formal apology. He said, "He knew in my heart it was wrong," admitted the jokes were a legitimate wrong, and did not frame his apology as mere cancel culture. He also admitted the attitude he had at the time, saying that too many times he sided with the wrong side, even if he knew in his heart that it was wrong. His apology was later accepted by Manor, and the controversy remains a permanent stain on his legacy to some, especially given the repeated nature of the jokes over a decade. Another major controversy is the so-called late-night wars at NBC, culminating in the 2010 reshuffling of The Tonight Show. In 2009, Leno stepped down from the show after a long run, passing the mantle to Conan O'Brien, but was given a new primetime show. The show underperformed, affiliates complained, and in 2010, NBC attempted to move Leno back to 11:35 p.m. and push Conan to 12:05 a.m. Conan balked and ultimately left NBC, and Leno returned. Many media observers called the saga a public relations disaster for NBC and a stain on all involved, including Leno, who was seen by some as having reneged on his promise to give up The Tonight Show. The controversy generated public protests, industry critique, and remaining resentment among fans of Conan. But Leno said that his actions were only a business decision, and the affair left an enduring impact on his image. He ended up in another scandal in April 2025, when Leno publicly admitted he made a mistake by allowing an on-air segment in which Jimmy Kimmel openly mocked him during a 2010 appearance on Leno's own show. Kimmel reportedly joked, "I told a guy that 5 years from now I'm going to give you my show, and then when the 5 years came, I gave it to him, and then I took it back almost instantly." Leno didn't edit the segment, despite the fact that he had the opportunity. He said, "When Kimmel came on my show and humiliated me on my own show, I let it happen. I didn't edit it. It was my mistake." He has also dealt with rumors that affected his career. In 2024, tabloids and online commentators speculated that he was getting injured because of gambling debt or mob retaliation. He had a lot of alarming injuries, like falling down a hill in Pennsylvania in November, wearing an eye patch, and having bruises and a broken wrist. Leno addressed the rumors on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast, where Maher asked bluntly about the theories. But Leno laughed off the idea, pointing out that he doesn't gamble. He even added, "Losing $100 makes me feel stupider than winning 1,000 makes me feel good." I love the idea that the mob would drive to Greenburgh, Pennsylvania, and wait outside the Hampton Inn on a kind of sleety, rainy day to throw me down a hill. He argued that if he owed money, he would simply take one of his cars and use it to pay the debt, instead of orchestrating a bizarre fall down the hill. Aside from his different scandals and controversies, Jay Leno has also ended up in feuds with other late-night stars. Although Jay Leno doesn't have any crazy rivalries, he has had conflicts with some late-night stars like David Letterman and Jimmy Kimmel. In 1992, when Leno succeeded Johnny Carson as the host of The Tonight Show, David Letterman, already host of the earlier night slot, was widely thought to be Carson's preferred successor. But NBC chose Leno, keeping Letterman at his current time. Leno has since maintained that the story of "I took the show away from Dave" is oversimplified. He explained that NBC realized if they move him down to 11:30, they lose the 12:30 spot. For nearly 2 decades, the two sat in adjacent time slots, Leno at 11:35 p.m. and Letterman at 12:30 a.m., and competed for guests, ratings, and viewers. The rivalry was widely chronicled, not least in the book and film The Late Shift. Leno has said he would have no problem reuniting with Letterman, although he admitted that Dave might be awkward. He told a story of when he visited Letterman's Malibu home, and it ended up being awkward. Leno doesn't have any animosity for Letterman, and he often praises him, calling him a brilliant wordsmith, and even said that he still makes me laugh more than anybody else. But apart from this, he also had a dispute with Jimmy Kimmel. In fact, after Leno returned to The Tonight Show after the Conan O'Brien succession crisis, Kimmel appeared on Leno's show and delivered multiple barbs targeted at him. He made jokes about the taking back of the show, power plays, and network maneuvers. It seemed to be just a small thing, but it continued to this day. It became a public feud, and Kimmel once said of the bounty on Leno, "F him." But in interviews, Leno said that there are no hard feelings and that he reached out in 2017 when Kimmel's son had open-heart surgery and that they had made peace. After all the controversies, feuds, and accidents, Jay Leno is living a unique life. As of 2025, Jay Leno remains active in different aspects of his life, even his hidden life. At age 75, he hasn't slowed down. He still performs live stand-up comedy, touring smaller clubs and theaters rather than chasing big one-time TV specials. In 2024, he completed around 150 shows, and he has said he prefers doing 100 times and getting a bunch of smaller checks, because that format keeps him connected to the audience. Leno's passion for cars continues unabated. His famous Big Dog Garage in Burbank remains operational, and though his TV series Jay Leno's Garage ended on CNBC in 2022, he continued uploading videos to his YouTube channel and remains a public figure in the automotive restoration scene. On the personal front, Leno has assumed a caregiving role for his wife, Mavis Leno, who was diagnosed with advanced dementia and for whom he was granted conservatorship in April 2024. While many might view that as a burden, Leno frames it as an extension of his commitment. "I like taking care of her. We have fun with it," he said recently. Leno also continues to engage in philanthropic efforts. For example, in April 2025, he supported a campaign for National Donate Life Month, helping raise approximately $675,000 for organ donor efforts through a special tour of his garage. Jay Leno lived a double life for over 30 years, and now we know about it. With his selection of cars and motorcycles that surpasses hundreds, Leno enjoys working on cars in his free time, even if he has had a lot of accidents while fixing and driving cars. What do you think is the most exciting car that Leno has in his selection? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. So, thanks for watching this video, and we will see you in the next one.